The age of exploration has birthed the chance of a century. The old powers, once in stone, have been given the opportunity to rise above the others and reshape their destinies.
There's an interesting phenomenon you've likely experienced when introducing a new board game to someone or having one introduced to you. You just don't care. Maybe you're not in the mood to learn the rules or it feels like a huge time commitment, but once you actually start playing and understanding the game, you end up having a great time. Why does this happen and how can we make games more appealing to new players? Let's dive in. If you're new here, my name is Julian, and on this channel I document my journey in creating the ultimate strategy board game, Pincer: A Gentleman's War. In this game you'll expand your empire by building colonies, managing resources, and most importantly, facing your opponent on the battlefield. Check out my website, playpincer.com, to learn how you can playtest today. This question is so fascinating to me because as social creatures, games are supposed to enhance our social experiences and bring us together, yet we see this hesitation when it comes to trying new games. So I've been looking into this a little bit, and here's what I found. One of the biggest reasons, I think, is this information overload. It can be overwhelming to process all the new rules, terms, and strategies, especially when you don't have a reference point for any of it yet. You're essentially being asked to learn a new language while also trying to figure out why it's relevant to you, and that's not always fun. This is called cognitive overload, which happens when the information you're receiving exceeds your brain's ability to process it. It can lead to mental fatigue and make decision-making harder, which is essential in board games, particularly strategy ones. I came across an article from the Medical College of Wisconsin about cognitive load theory, which explains that our memory has three basic stages: sensory, working, and long-term. Here's how it works. External information is first filtered through your sensory memory, think background noise, music, etc. If it makes it past that, it moves to your working memory, which is like the RAM in a computer. It's where information is either discarded or categorized. Finally, anything that sticks goes into your long-term memory, where it becomes easier to recall later. But here's the thing, your working memory can only handle about 5 to 9 chunks of information at a time, and that's it. So when teaching new players, it's useful to feed them information in smaller, digestible chunks so they can better process and remember it all for long term. And speaking of making learning more manageable, that's exactly why I love using Brilliant, today's sponsor. They break down complex topics into easily understood, interactive lessons that help you retain information more effectively. I've personally found benefit in the logic and deduction courses, where you're faced with various puzzles and challenges that will sharpen your critical thinking skills. Brilliant's hands-on approach is perfect for boosting your cognitive skills, and right now you can try it out for free. Click the link below for a 30-day free trial, and if you love it as much as I do, you'll get 20% off for life when you use the link brilliant.org/Julian Burke, link in the description. Another barrier is the effect versus reward dilemma. Sometimes we just don't see the point in even learning a new game. We're comfortable chatting, watching TV, or scrolling on our phones, and while there's nothing wrong with those activities, I'd argue that a well-designed board game offers a more stimulating and rewarding experience. But of course, the effort required to learn it can be a hurdle. There's another theory called expectancy theory that explains motivation in terms of 3 components: effort, performance, and outcome. Basically, will the effort to learn this new game result in a rewarding enough outcome to justify it? To answer that, we need to understand what motivates us to play games in the first place. First, there's social interaction, spending quality time with others in a shared experience. Then there's the immersion, disconnecting from the real world and diving into a new and exciting one for a while, which can be a great stress reliever. Finally, there's the opportunity to develop new skills and compete, that natural drive to challenge ourselves and others. But for new players, the odds of winning are slim. They're the rookie, and that might make them less motivated to try. Most people would rather stick to what they already know, where they feel more confident. This is where the game's theme or concept can really make a difference. A compelling theme can draw players in, even though they have no idea how to play yet. For my game, Pincer, history buffs might be intrigued by the cavalry, frigates, or colonial era setting. It can be enough to hook them before they've even learned the rules. But of course, themes aren't one size fits all. Some players prefer lighthearted or casual games, and that's something to consider when introducing a new game to someone. A few weeks ago, I made a community post on this topic, and I think I received a lot of interesting feedback, but one thing that really stood out to me is a comment from the channel 3 Minute Board Games, which is great. You all should check them out. They have a great channel over there. But what he said is, if someone hates the game learning process, then don't force it on them. That just makes people resentful, and the whole session ends up being wasted. So you need to make it so the people in front of you are keen to learn the rules, and I start this by telling a story about what the game is about, what they need to do to win, and some of the cool stuff that is about to happen. Once you have people in a position where they're thinking, okay, let's learn the rules because this sounds like it's going to be a good time, you're good to go. I think this is some great insight from a seasoned board gamer, and it got me thinking about how I can apply this to my game. What I would love to do is write some lore or narrative to my game's universe, something simple that could be on the back of the box or in the rulebook that could potentially pique new players' interest to play. So this is what I came up with.
The age of exploration has birthed the chance of a century. The old powers, once in stone, have been given the opportunity to rise above the others and reshape their destinies. A vast land rich in resources offers her greatness to those brave enough to tame it. It's an all-out race as the great empires mobilize their best generals, shrewdest merchants, and most skilled craftsmen to not only build civilization, but also defend and expand through the awful engines of war. Alliances will be forged and broken, battles fought on land and sea, and the future of the new world awaits. Who will write its history?
I envisioned this being something that players could read to new players in order to excite and motivate them to give Pincer a chance. Perhaps I'll make more detailed lore concerning a name for the map or universe, history for the factions, but I think this will do for now. So let me know if you all like it and what you think in the comments. It's been an incredible 2 weeks since the launch of the Pincer Tabletop Simulator, and I want to thank all of you for the overwhelming enthusiasm and feedback. It's been amazing finally sharing the game with you all. If you hadn't had the chance to play yet, I'd love for you to check it out and share your thoughts on the game. Also, don't forget to join the Discord community where I'll be hanging out and chatting with all of you all. Plus, I'm super excited to announce a live playtest stream is coming November 2nd, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. I'll be hosting a live playtest with some of my closest friends, so mark your calendars, it's gonna be a blast, and I don't want you to miss it. Thanks again for watching and for the support. Till next time, farewell.